My husband Darren and I used to live with his brother Adam and Adam's now wife Grace for a few years. We all got along really well and considered ourselves close. We haven't lived together in a few years, they moved out on good terms. Still, there were never any issues between us. Adam and Grace got engaged last year and married last night. Darren was a groomsman. I wasn't invited to any of the pre-wedding events, no bridal shower, no bachelorette party, no rehearsal dinner. I also wasn't included in the getting ready time with the rest of the women in the family on the wedding day, even though Darren was involved in everything with the groom's side. I chalked it up to wedding stress and didn't want to make a big deal about it. It's their day, not mine. One of the photographers didn't show up. Darren volunteered me to stand in as the second photographer because I have a new phone with a great camera. I agreed. Afterward, the best man invited me into the groom's suite to take a celebratory tequila shot with the bride, groom, wedding party, and Darren. There were a few additional people in the room and it started to get loud and chaotic. At this point Grace yelled, "Anyone who's not in the wedding party needs to leave." So I quietly left and went back into the main area of the venue and sat with my mother-in-law. Darren was furious and wanted to leave right away. We stayed a little longer to discuss the event with Darren's mom and sister Ava, who was a bridesmaid. Ava told me that months ago she had confronted Grace about intentionally excluding me from all the pre-wedding events and told her it was mean. Grace apparently stood firm and refused to include me. That conversation really confirmed that I wasn't just overlooked, I was purposely excluded. So between that and being kicked out of the mid-celebration tequila shot in the groom's suite, Darren and I decided it was best to just go, leaving 4 hours early. For the record, I would have stayed but decided to stand with my husband, who felt I was disrespected. I agree that I was disrespected, but was willing to overlook it because again it was their day, not mine. I still provided the pictures I took to the photographer. I sent her a Google Drive file and followed up with a text telling her to let me know if she has any issues with the file. I did not mention any drama. She responded thanking me and said, "I went to find you when the toast was taking forever and couldn't." Later Grace told me she made you mad so you wouldn't be sending them, so I do really appreciate that and your help. Furthermore, I am so dearly sorry how yesterday turned out for you. I never talked to Grace regarding any of this. Comment 1. NTA, but I am curious as to why only now was your husband standing up for you, when it's clear you were excluded. I'm confused. If you and mother-in-law have such a close relationship, why she didn't stand up for you. I get their wedding and all, you're not trying to make a fuss, which good on you. Just confused why they waited until the actual wedding to do anything. OP comment. My husband is very much a non-confrontational type. Also, we were giving the benefit of the doubt regarding the pre-wedding events. I mentioned in my post that we were chalking it up to the bride having a lot going on, wedding stress. As far as my mother-in-law goes, she felt the same way, that it wasn't nefarious. It wasn't until after the groom's suite incident that husband, mother-in-law, and I found out that Ava tried to get Grace to invite me to pre-wedding events and Grace said no. I suspect Ava did not disclose this to me to protect my feelings, which I'm fine with. If Ava had told, it could have caused more drama. Comment 2. NTA, but you really need to stop trying to keep the peace, especially if your husband wants to make a stand. That does nothing but show that you're a doormat that won't make waves when you're done wrong. OP comment. Totally agree. This is why I left with him, instead of deciding to stay. Also, this is the first time in 7 years he stood up for me like this. Not because he's a duck or anything, but because I'm a very headstrong woman and end up saying something before he gets the chance. He knows I can handle myself and loves that about me. He's also not the type to speak for me, he's very much a feminist. It was just this scenario I was willing to let it go because it was someone's wedding day. Story 2, refusing to attend my sister's wedding, or give a gift, after she invited my ex but excluded my wife. My 32 sister, 28F, is getting married in a few weeks. She recently sent out the official invites, and while I was included, my wife, 30F, was not. When I asked about it, my sister told me the decision was intentional. She said she wants her wedding to be as peaceful as possible and that she doesn't feel comfortable having my wife there. For context, my wife and sister have never gotten along particularly well. There's no major incident or explosive history, just mutual dislike and a few passive-aggressive exchanges over the years. That said, my wife has always been respectful at family gatherings, and I've never seen her act out. What makes this worse, though, is that my ex-girlfriend, whom I dated for 4 years before meeting my wife, is invited. My sister remained friends with her after we broke up 6 years ago. I didn't love it, but I never made an issue of it. Still, it's incredibly hurtful to see that my sister would rather include someone from my past, someone I haven't spoken to in years, over the person I've chosen to build a life with. I told my sister that I wasn't comfortable attending under these circumstances and that I wouldn't be sending a wedding gift either. I said if she doesn't recognize my wife as part of the family, then she shouldn't expect me to play along with the celebration as if everything is fine. She accused me of being petty and trying to punish her for setting boundaries. My parents have since called to say I'm overreacting and that I should just go and keep the peace. To me, this feels like more than a disagreement. It feels like a fundamental lack of respect for my marriage. But the family seems to think I'm making it about me. Comment 1. NTA et al. My parents have since called to say I'm overreacting and that I should just go and keep the peace. Why aren't your parents insisting on your wife being included and that your sister keep the peace? You are right. Your sister is disrespecting your marriage. She's seriously going to stand up and make vows to her partner but not respect the vows you made to yours? Don't go. Do something fun with your wife that day. Comment 2. NTA. A wedding invitation is never a summons, and that is especially true here. Your sister refusing to invite your wife is incredibly disrespectful to you, and you have every right to decline the invitation on that basis alone. The fact that your ex is going makes it even more justified. Your sister has every right to invite your ex because they are friends, but when your own wife is excluded, inviting the ex does seem like piling on. This situation is not your fault. It's your sister's. You're no asshole for refusing a disrespectful invite. Story 3, not caring that my ex is a deadbeat to his other kid but not mine and still letting him be in his life. I, 24F. Have a son, 8M, with my ex, 25M. We broke up right after he was born when I was 16 and have co-parented him ever since. We lived in the same neighborhood so it made it really easy. After we became adults and moved out we still co-parent him fine and there isn't any issues. We can both show up to his events, throw a party together, etc. We're not friends and never talk to each other about our personal lives and there's never been any issues. I'm also married and have another child. He isn't married. Back in November a girl DMs me and tells me that her and my ex had a baby together and he doesn't claim or take care of him. It was a long message with pics of her baby and texts included and all. She even sent me the paternity results and that he says her $350 in child support a month. She said his family knows and doesn't care. I was shocked he had another baby, especially one he isn't taking care of, and knew if my son didn't tell me, he must also not know, so this must be true. I spoke to my friends, family, and husband about it and they all told me to mind my business and that if he's a deadbeat to another child that has nothing to do with me or my son. One of my friends, who's a single mom, however, told me that a man that picks and chooses which children he takes care of isn't a dad and that he's a deadbeat. And also that if he abandons my son I have no one to blame but myself since I was fine with him doing it to another child. That got under my skin, so the next time I saw my ex I told him about the DMs and he got upset and told me to mind my business. It was awkward and I didn't bring it up again. The girl DM'd me a few more times but I just ignored them. It was my son's birthday last week and his party was last Saturday. My ex and I threw it together, so he was there. His family was also there. We took family pictures including everyone and I posted some on my story. I woke up the next day to my Instagram notifications going crazy and so many people were commenting hate on my pictures. Come to find out, the girl whose baby my ex doesn't take care of posted a TikTok about how my ex doesn't take care of her baby and didn't come to her son's first birthday party, but he can take care of his other kid. She included a screenshot of the party I posted on my story, which had my @, which is how a bunch of people found me. Her video got thousands of views and 500 comments before she deleted it after I sent it to my ex, freaking out. All of them insulting me, saying if I was a good mom, I wouldn't let my ex around my son for being a deadbeat. My account is now private, but I'm still going through my comments deleting the hate, and all of them are mostly women saying that I'm a horrible mom for being okay with having a deadbeat around my son, and I must feel so special, he only takes care of my son and not hers. Comment 1. It is not exactly that you don't care. The reality is that you can't make your ex be an involved father to this child. Also, you don't know the whole story. This woman seems very manipulative and clearly unhinged. You should mind your own business regarding the relationship between your ex and his second child, but fill a police report against this woman, to have it documented at least. Comment 2. NTA. The relationship between her and her baby is only between him and her. It has nothing to do with you and your relationship with him and your baby. Your ex is an adult and it's up to him how he treats the other child, even if it is not claiming or helping raise it. I feel like if he has not claimed or helps raise the baby, he suspects it isn't his. Again, it's none of your business or your problem. So just keep doing you. Comment 3. If he's paying her $350 a month child support, then he's not a deadbeat. He's fulfilling his financial responsibility. She's just angry he doesn't have a relationship with her or their child. It's not your responsibility to facilitate one. Story 4. My partner pays rent in my property. I, 31F, own a property that me and partner, 31M, and our baby daughter live in. We split all bills 50-50, even though he earns more. I also buy her clothes, pay her swimming lessons and all the bits I notice that she needs. He has lived here for 2.5 years and I have lived here 5 years. I moved out of my parents when I was 17 and I worked my ass off to buy the place by myself 5 years ago. I was paying rent and saving for a mortgage at the same time. It was hard work and took dedication as I did not get any financial help. He has asked to be added to the mortgage as he has been contributing here, monthly payments only. He says he is entitled to a share and his family have been doing research on that. I feel hurt that they would do that. It feels like I'm not sure if I can trust him or them now. I haven't had an easy journey to get to the security that I built for myself, and I can be a bit overprotective about that, especially now I have a child and inevitably I want to build her future too. I'm very careful not to put myself in vulnerable positions, but now I feel I'm vulnerable. We have really disagreed on this, and he has moved out. Morally, I find it wrong that the father of my child and his family would support him taking from me and his daughter. He said that would never happen, but why would they research it? And also, I'm not putting someone on the mortgage who does not have any actual investment to put down. It feels like he wants an easy ride to the property ladder. Am I wrong to be upset? Am I the R? Edit. He has said he wouldn't expect half, but he would want back what he has put in. I explained that's not how rent works. Even if we had an agreement where he would get it back, I'm more concerned about his morals of being okay with taking it from me when I have had his child and am providing a secure home. Comment 1. NTA. I think it's weird he was seemingly talking to his family about this before talking to you, the person on the mortgage, the owner of the home. If this was really about wanting his fair share, or wanting to invest for himself, he could have even suggested you guys start saving up to buy a place together versus him just being added to your property. This was yours before the relationship. There's no reason he needs to demand to be on the mortgage. Comment 2. So he moves out, and I assume stops contributing to you and his daughter, when he doesn't get his way. Had you put his name on the mortgage/deed, he could literally take half of your house and force you to buy him out. He's literally proved to you that you're right to keep his name off of the deed. If you're in the US, it's usually not possible to add someone to the mortgage without refinancing the entire loan. What is your rate versus the current rate? Extra. not telling my sister who owns the shares in family company. My father has had a company for many, many years. A few years ago I started helping him out with it as he is aging. Recently, in an effort to start estate planning, he decided to gift half his shares to the family while he's still alive. So I created a gift letter which outlines how many shares the company has, how many are in my father's name, and how he was wanting to divide them between his 12 heirs. There were 100k shares in my father's name, meaning someone else owns them. After I sent out the letter, my sister immediately asked how can she cash in her shares and who owns the other 100k. I explained to her how the selling of shares would work since we are a private company, and went on to say that the extra 100k are not part of Dad's holdings, so there is no impact on her inheritance, etc. She pushed and asked why is it a secret and I have the right to know. I came back with no, you don't any have rights to know who owns those shares any more than you would say Amazon shares. She continued to push and then started throwing other things about our past out. She and I have always had a difficult relationship. Finally I got mad and told her I own them. And when she asked why that was so hard, I replied, cause it none of your business. Anyhow, I don't own them, I own some of them, but in any case she has now gone to my dad and my other sister bad-mouthing me. I am done with her, but in the back of my mind I keep wondering maybe I am I should just have told her who owns the shares even though she has never had any involvement in the company at all.